Florida State, as you know, dramatically improved on the field in 2022, and we've been taking a deep dive into some of the analytics, numbers, metrics, all that fun stuff. Today, I want to go through the quarterback position. It's a lot of fun, obviously, because Jordan Travis blew the doors off in every metric you want to look at. He had huge passing numbers. You want to look at some of these numbers. We've got them up for you here. Huge passing numbers compared to 2021. He averaged almost 100 more yards through the air a games that he played, and that's just unheard of in college football for a quarterback to have that much more production from one year to the next. And it's not just that he went out there and threw the ball all over the yard. What's even more impressive is you look at his efficiency metrics. It is insane. Let's first look at his TD interception ratio. As you can see, that was really good compared to last year. Last year, 15-6. Okay, nothing special. But man, to go from that to 24 touchdowns and just 5 interceptions, that is exceptional. The only quarterback that threw for over 20 touchdowns and had fewer than 5 interceptions is Tennessee's Hendon Hooker. Pretty good company there, with Travis being very good at protecting the football and also getting into the end zone. One thing we don't talk about a whole lot is the ability to avoid sacks, and I can't stress how important that is. And Travis was not great at that in 2021. He was sacked 25 times in 8 starts in 2021. Go ahead to this past season, he was sacked 15 times, and that was in 13 starts. So he's dramatically improved that. We're going to talk about that in a little bit here. There's a metric the PFF does that monitors that. So you'll see graphically how much he improved in that area. But really, when you look at it, taking that much fewer sacks overall equates to about 2 less per game. And think about that is a big reason why you look at the production numbers for Florida State's offense and the fact that they scored almost 9 more points a game compared to 2021. And that's a part of it too. You can't be taking huge losses through quarterback sacks. So a big help there for him to be able to do that. You see his QB rating is improved, his pass efficiency rating, all that stuff. According to these are the general stats that you look at for a quarterback were really freaking good in 2022 for Jordan Travis. So let's look ahead to a little bit to the PFF. Now, we like to look at Pro Football Focus now and again because it's nice to have a third party, an independent third party that's going to look at the team, look at the individual players. They're going to grade them. They're going to look deeper at some analytics and efficiency ratings to see really how they are performing against their peers. So I think it's fun to do that. I'm the first to tell you, hey, I know PFF has its faults, or sometimes I look at them, I completely don't agree. But I think on the whole, it gives you a good look, especially when you look at one player's improvement, maybe from one year to the next. We're going to do that here. Now, it's interesting, in 2021, his passing and offensive numbers and grades were actually not too bad. He was 24 and 27 in ranking and passing and offense per his grades in 2021. So you could kind of see the writing on the wall that he was starting to emerge and be a pretty good quarterback even a year before this past season. And those numbers improved to the point where he is top 5 in both of those major categories for quarterbacks in 2022. So that was still a pretty good improvement. But really, again, what blows you away in looking at Jordan are these efficiency metrics and some of the other stuff that really rates how good your quarterback is. So a few of the ones that PFF does, it's really kind of fun to do. Stats like big time throws. Now, big time throws, they define it specifically as a pass with excellent ball location and timing, generally thrown further down the field and into a tighter window. So these are just, again, it's a throw. Maybe they're under pressure. Maybe they're throwing it way down the field in a tight window and they're completing it. So Jordan Travis more than doubled, going from 11 to 27 of these throws in 2022. And they should just call this the Patrick Mahomes stats. All those, you see Patrick Mahomes do these kind of throws all the time. But for a college quarterback to pull off these big time throws is awesome. And Jordan obviously got much better at that this past season. We remember many of those big time throws he had. And I mentioned the first part of this, and this is a stat they look at. It's called PS2 percentage. You'll see on the graph. But what that is a percentage of pressures that turned into sacks. I mentioned those sack numbers before. Jordan Travis was not good here. He was really bad in this area in 2020 when he took way too many sacks. He ranked 109th in the country in 2021. Now he's all the way up to 25 in ranking. Now, probably mobile quarterbacks trying to buy more time are going to get maybe sacked a little bit more. But the point is, he got rid of the football quicker. He made decisions a lot quicker than he did before. That's knowing the offense, that's being comfortable with the system. And again, that is a big reason why this offense was so much more effective, scored a lot more points in 2022. So he was much better at that. Now, one that I was a little surprised of, a metric PFF likes to look at, is deep passing. Now, what it is passes 20 or more yards down the field. How efficient was your quarterback in getting the ball to the receiver way down the field? And Jordan Travis, this was probably one of his biggest leaps according to Pro Football Focus. He went from number 56 in the country with an 88.7 grade in 2021, which is still it's decent, it's, slightly above average, to 95.1 grade for a number 3 ranking in deep passing. So that's just a huge jump in him throwing the ball down the field. And I think part of this and part of these other metrics, Jordan gets a lot of credit and he deserves it 100%. But let's face it, the wide receiver core this past season was markedly better than it was in 2021. So I think that was a big help too. There's bigger windows for a quarterback to throw in. Guys are getting open downfield. Big thing there for him. So that was really nice to see and expect to see more of those big numbers in 2023. The last thing I'm going to look at here real quick, you can see passing versus pressure, and it's what you would expect it is when he's under pressure throwing the football. And you can see Jordan improved quite a bit there as well, ranked number 21 in the country throwing under pressure. So that was a really good mark for him. Real quick on Tate Rodemaker, there's not a ton. I'm not going to do a big comparison on him because there just weren't enough attempts to really look at it, but we all remember how well he played having to come on a relief at Louisville, rallying FSU from a deficit. So he did make improvements at PFF. Even though there's a small sample size, they did recognize that he was a much better quarterback in 2022. He went from a grade of 73. I mean, he had a 73 offensive grade in 2022, and that's up from 65. And his passer rating really went up, and that's one of the efficiency metrics they look at, from 79.4, which is not good in 2021, all the way up to 135.3, which is fantastic, especially for a backup to come in and play that well. And you got to think he'll be only better this next season. So it's nice to know that Jordan Travis has a capable backup if something were to happen. Now, I know we all hope he can get through the whole season, but you never know. Quarterbacks do get hurt from time to time. So it is comforting to see Florida State's got a quarterback ready to go that is at least capable of directing this offense. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button down below. And please, again, subscribe, man. You're not going to regret it. It's free. You get a ton of free content here on WarchantTV. We're all for it. But, of course, with this video, there is a companion story that I wrote about quarterbacks on Warchant.com. It goes a little deeper into some of the analytics and some of the information that we got from all these various sources. So please check it out at Warchant.com. And everybody, have a good evening.